Hey everybody, Tie-Dye here, and I want to talk to y'all about my latest tent, and it's the Durston Xmid in sage, as always, because that's all it comes in. It's the one-person version 2, and I know there are a lot of videos out with a lot of reviews, so I'm not doing a review of this tent. I just want to show you some modifications I made to it to more personalize it for my use, and it may be something that could help you as well. But real quick, I do want to tell you I've used it 4 trips, I believe, and so far it has performed flawlessly. It's easy to put up, you don't have to have guidelines. Anyway, today I really want to focus on the modifications that I made to this tent that makes it easier for me to pitch and easier to use once I'm on the inside. So the first one I want to talk about is how this is pitched. Now you see it only requires the 4 stakes on the corners, and then I have 2 extra stakes, 1 on each side for the 2 doors, just to pull that out. And then I'm using my trekking poles. Now you can buy the standalone poles for this tent from Durston or Caviso right now is what it's being sold under. Some lightweight carbon fiber poles, but I just use my trekking poles because the whole point of this was to reduce weight in my pack so that I can hike better, faster, longer without breaking my back and hurting my feet. All right, so this tent, this is not the Pro. This has the inside netting. For the Durston double wall tents, they designed it so that you pitch it using your trekking poles with the tip up, meaning your handle would be down and your trekking pole tip would be up. Now, you see, I don't have it that way. I don't like it that way. I don't want it that way. They designed it with a grommet in the top of this, and I'll show you that in just a moment, that your tip of the pole sets in up here. Now, and they've reinforced to try to minimize any damage from that tip, and they have a grommet that it does sit in. However, I have read multiple times where people, when they got in high wind situations, their pole would actually come out of this grommet. The pole would slip to one side, the wind would pull it back down, and they would rip a big old hole in it. So I decided to do something different. Also, I don't like my cork handles being down on the ground where mice or bugs can chew on the cork. I know it's an issue. They love the salt that's in it, and they love to chew on that cork, and I don't want my handles anywhere near the ground. So let me show you what I did to make this a better fit for me. And this is something that you can easily do as well. All right, let me show you what I've done. I created a Velcro strap that goes around this pole. This allows me to put the top of my trekking pole up there, and there's no risk of the tip poking through. Let me show you a little more about this. So I just went to the sewing machine. I used some strips of Velcro. Using the fuzzy side, I created this sort of saddle strap. And so I used one piece here and a piece right here. Sewed them, reinforced them really well right here. Then on this other end, I got the loop portion and sewed, and don't judge me for my sewing. It got a little crazy with that machine. Sewed it to the back side of this so that when it comes around, it catches. To attach this, I just simply had some string, and I put it across here and stitched across it, did it like a bar tack. And then what I did is I just tied it into this grommet. So then all I have to do, whoops, isn't it amazing I have 3 hands? I just slip the pole into here, pull that around, secure it, and then it just goes up in there, and it's safe. And even if the wind gets to blowing, it's not going to pull this out of here, out of this cup, because it's attached in there. So this is very secure. And then I can down here use my point of the trekking pole into the ground, and that actually makes it a very sturdy pitch. And I've done that to both sides, this and this one. And I think that's a much safer way of attaching the poles to it. All right, the second modification I have made to this tent, and this is just a personal thing for me. I'll tell you one thing I love about this tent real quick, I'll tell you, is this right here, this magnet. Just makes putting the door away so easy. All right, when Durston created this tent, this is the double wall, They've been through different configurations, I think. And this is what they've kind of settled on, is a pocket up here that is very small. Now it'll hold a headlamp, but that's what I use it mostly for. But anything else, you just can't put much in it because it's not deep. And it's hard to get to. There are two of them. There's one on this end and the same thing right there. Problem with those pockets is my arms aren't long enough to reach in it while I'm laying down. So why would I want to put anything up there that I can't reach from down here? It's fine if I'm sitting up, but I don't sit up during the night. So they're kind of useless to me, except for I will put my headlamp in that with the strap hanging down so I can reach up and I can grab the strap and pull it out without a problem. Anyway, the Pro tents have pockets that are built right down here on each side, so that if you were laying down, you would be able to reach over here and get, your items that you need. Well, this has annoyed me because, yes, I can put all my things down on the floor, but I find once I have my sleeping pad in here, I have just a few inches on each side for my stuff to sit. Now, I've got all of that up there, but when I'm talking about stuff, like things I might need during the night, I will keep a water bottle on one side. But then I also have my contact case. I've got some eye drops I have to use. Any vitamins or medicines I may need at the end of the day or in the first thing in the morning. Well, my phone. I put my phone and my battery bank. And I usually like to have it to the side of me so that I can have my phone facing out where I can see the time. Once I get my pad in here, I've only got, like I said, just a couple inches on each side that I can lay stuff. And the problem comes in as I'm moving around, the stuff starts to migrate and go under my sleeping pad. And then I'm searching for this or searching for that. Like if you're in the middle of the night, sometimes I do try to get my chapstick for my lips. And then I get to searching around and can't find it. And find it the next morning, it has moved under my sleeping pad and gone to the other end of the tent. So I needed a pocket that was easily accessible that would actually hold something without falling out. So this is what I came up with. I just found some netting that I already had at the house. I just made my own binding. I made a pocket. And on the back side of this pocket, I put Velcro. So I have sewn a piece of Velcro here that this sticks to. Like that. And you're probably going, well, why didn't you just sew it to the tent? Well, let me show you why. So once I get in, sometimes I have found out that I thought what was the head end needs to be the foot end because of the slant that I'm on. And then if I've got my pocket down here, it doesn't do me a whole lot of good if my head's on the other end. So what I did another Velcro strip just like this over here. So then all I have to do is I can move my pocket. I get in here and just pull it off that side and stick it right here. And then I can keep any small items I don't want floating around and ended up under my sleeping pad. My contact case would be there, which I don't have out here right now. I'm just going to put my GoPro case in there. Who knows, some chapstick. And then most importantly, my battery bank will go in here. Then I can just slip my phone right here in the front. Everything's all neatly tucked in here. When I'm asleep, this keeps things from rolling and sliding under my pad, and then I can easily look over and I can see what time it is when I wake up during the night. So far, it has worked very well. The first pocket I made was longer than this. It was about 2 inches longer, but then I found that it was so long that all the stuff was coming to the bottom and it was going kind of sliding under my pad. So I shortened it just a bit. That seems to work really well. Keeps everything right here within reach. The third modification I made to this tent was to add a clothesline because I like to hang my socks, especially my shirt and my shorts, up overnight and allow them to dry. And I can also, if I want to, hang a headlamp from this, although I actually utilize that pocket for that. But I can do anything with this. So what I did was, I don't know how well you can see this, and I'll probably show you from the outside. I sewed a loop of grosgrain up in here and then added this line. And I have it's adjustable with this little hardware that I can't remember the name of this little particular hook, but this makes it adjustable where I can hang it lower if I need to or tighten it up. and it's just attached on this other end with another loop of grosgrain. All right, we're going to take a look on the inside for that at that clothesline. So I had some of this, it's a thin grosgrain that I just looped and stitched into the junction where all these other pieces come together. You see I just put a bar tack on there. I went back and forth several times just to reinforce that. And that is how I have my clothesline strung up. So I just looped this end and then went to the other end, did the same, and then with it the adjusting, this little piece of hardware, I cannot remember what that's called, but it's I think it's a piece of Dutch hardware. Actually, I found this piece of lime with this in the woods. Somebody left it on a tree and I brought it home because it's been and I know that it's from Dutch hardware gear because of the way this line is spliced back. It made a loop and is spliced back into itself. Anyway, somebody left it. I got it. It's worked out for me because I've been able to use it this way. So this is how you adjust it. If you need to tighten it some, if it's sagging too much under the weight of your clothes, you can just move it. Or if it's too tight, move it back and it holds just like that. So that's my clothesline, and that's how I've attached it. It's worked well for me. One last bit of info. If you're not the do-it-yourself type, or you don't have access to a sewing machine to make these handle straps that I made, there is a site called tarptent.com that sells, I think it's called a handle adapter that's very similar to this. I think they're $10 or less a pair, and you can just order them from there. All right, that's all I have for you this time. Thank you for stopping in. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. That's all, folks.